Hello students. Today we will be solving the questions of the story Under the Banyan Tree by R.K. Narayan. First short question is, what do you understand by the word enchanter, and why does the author call Nambi an enchanter? An enchanter is a magician. An enchanter is somebody who controls your mind, or an enchanter can be a charmer, someone who charms you. Charming is bringing you under his influence, or someone who keeps you spellbound. Spellbound is that your power of thinking is suspended for some time and you believe exactly what you are listening. So he's called an enchanter because he captures the mind of the people and makes them think the way he desires. So that is why Nambi has been called an enchanter, because he charms the villagers. He has a kind of spell. He has cast a spell over these villagers. Second question, why does Nambi stop telling stories at the end? Most probably it is the age, because he has grown old. His memory starts failing him, but he says that the gift of goddess has been taken away from him. It was Mother Goddess who blessed him with the art of storytelling. It is Mother Goddess who has taken away from him this art of storytelling. But if you see it the other way, we can say that it was the age, because he had grown old and so he lost the power of storytelling. How has Narayan portrayed village life? R.K. Narayan emphasizes upon the simplicity of the villagers. There is lack of modernization. People are not progressive at all. People are not aware about hygiene, about cleanliness. They are just leading a life of work and food, just working and eating and whatever other things the society offers. But these people are still simple, they are not developed, they are not progressive, not modernized. How old is Nambi? Now, nobody knows Nambi's age. And what is his method of telling his age? So, whenever somebody asked Nambi what his age is, he would often refer to some ancient famine or an invasion or the building of a bridge and indicate how high he stood from the ground at that time. So he himself does not know his age, how old he is. What is the frequency with which Nambi can create a story, and how long does his narration last? Nambi can concoct or make up a story in 1 month, and then it takes him 10 days to narrate that story. Where does Nambi live? Nambi lives in the temple of the village. Describe his daily routine and the ritual performed on Friday evenings. Now, daily routine is he cleans the temple around him. In the daytime, he sits under the banyan tree. People crossing that place, they always come there. There are a number of discourses that took place, deliberations that took place. But whenever Nambi wanted to be alone, he wanted isolation, he would go into the temple, sit there and meditate in front of the goddess. On Friday, he would decorate the temple, he would light some earthen lamps around. People would come there. First, they would offer flowers to the goddess, and after that, the storytelling session would start. How do the villagers look upon Nambi? Villagers respect Nambi. Villagers provide him all kinds of facilities which they are capable of in favor of the story which he tells them. So they revere him, they respect him, they give him lot of reputation. What is their opinion of the man? That he is a learned man, because when there's a problem, even that problem is often discussed with Nambi and they arrive at some solution. So the banyan tree is often called the clubhouse of that village, and Nambi is the main person there. Why does Nambi say, age, age? What is my age? It has come on suddenly. Now, this line refers to that point when suddenly he is unable to narrate the next line of the story. When his memory fails him, when he's not able to carry on the narration of the story, and then he asks himself that, what age? I don't think I'm so old that I can stop telling stories. Describe the second day of Nambi's failure to tell the story. On the second day, he starts telling the story, but after some time, once again, words fail him. He does not seem to remember the next sequence of the story, and he just sits there, closes his eyes, and is not ready to face the people. He's not ready to make people understand that he is now a failure, that he is failing in the art of storytelling. Describe Nambi's life after he stops telling stories. Do the villagers reject him? Now, villagers do not reject him. And what happens to his life? He now leads a life of consummate silence. That means ultimate silence. He remains quiet most of the time. And I'll read this from the last lines of your story. He says, when he felt hungry, he walked into any cottage and silently sat down for food and walked away the moment he had eaten. So there is no conversation between the members of the house and Nambi, even when he has gone to take food there. The rest of his life is the remaining part of his life when he has lost the power of storytelling. So for the rest of his life, he lived for a few years after the rest of his life was one great consummate silence. It was ultimate silence which has entered into his life. So this brings me to the end of the short answer questions. In the next video, we will discuss the long answers.